Hey guys, Nick from Gimme Garage. Welcome back. This is episode 6 and we're working on the city today. This is Kenny, my brother-in-law. We're both co-owners of the car and this is going to be it. This is our budget resto. Spent a couple of hours today just messing about, trying to hook up some lights and stuff underneath the carport so that we can actually see what we're doing, which is always fun. And we're going to just basically get stuck in and start taking it apart and seeing what goodies we've got inside. Alright guys, so we have quickly taken out the majority of the rubbish that was in the car when we purchased it, that we'd like, just to give you an idea of what's going on inside. There has definitely been some rather small little rodents. You turned this into a little hotel, I think, because there's stuff everywhere. Overall condition of the inside, crusty. As you can see, there is holes in pretty much every corner of the floor. I'm sure that this area here, put the light down, sure that this area here is only been held together by the under seal. I've actually just knelt on the doorstep and crumpled that. Crumbly. Yeah. Let's have a look at what bits we pulled out of the car. So this is the stuff that we pulled out of the car. It came with a few bits. A few bits that are kind of hard to find with city stuff. So first things first is the seats. They're the houndstooth. The pattern on them is a houndstooth pattern, which is specific to the 1980 City. As you can see, this one has those little rodents. I've decided to make a mess of those. So yeah, they may be on the find new ones list. Rear door cards, they're going to go on the find new ones list as well. Find new ones, replace, because they're really bad. 10-inch steel wheels all around. The drums were removed from the car in order to get it rolling. The steel wheels actually look alright, they're not really badly corroded. Although they will need some new tyres for sure. There's I think that's an MOT fail. What else? Specific to the 80 City, they came with like a rubber mat instead of like carpet sets that you normally get in classic minis. So really happy to find these. They're actually, although they look pretty manky. I think that will clean up with a good pressure wash and some cleaner, some heavy duty cleaner. So they're decent. They're getting on they're on the keep pile. What else have we got in here? Some underlay, some felt from the inside of the arches and stuff like that. We'll get a look at those again a little bit later and see if we can figure out if they're going to be kept or not. That's your vinyl rear arch liners. There was a question on one of the mini groups as to whether the 80 City came with vinyl rear arch covers. I think this is an original car, it's never been modified, so that answers that question. They did come with vinyl on the rear arches. Whether it was standard across all cities, I don't know, but I know that ours has it, so that gives us a good idea of whether they came with them or not. An old newspaper, I don't know what year that is, but there's a sports thing on the back of it that says Vlad to see you. No idea who that is. No idea. Graham Ritz has been handed a shop invite to Hearts. Okay. Interesting. Gotta love freebies. We got a single domed bullet mirror. Don't know if that's going to go back on the car if I'm honest, but it's nice. Cool to have. Some more specific bits which that's a bit of a gutter. That's one side of the dash trim that sits behind the centre cop, which has got a bit of a tear in it. Maybe replace, maybe repair, I'm not sure. Have a look at that later. And in our arch mats again, the rubber floor stuff, which is again really good to have. Although it looks manky, it is specific to the car and original, so we'll do our best to try and save and clean that. More underfelt. And the other side of the dash card, which is another good to have. You can still buy all that stuff from Newton Commercial, all new, all these trims and cards and stuff like that. But like I say, this is a budget resto, so we're trying to save as much as we can, and Newton Commercial aren't cheap. All the stuff's really good. Chrome hubcaps. Another thing that's specific to the 80 City was came on 5x10 steels with the moon style centre caps. These are all, every single one of them got a dent in them, I think. A wee dent, but specific to the car, so they're getting kept. What else is in here? Kind of fake to look in case there's any beasties in here. And I'm sure that's the bottom of the dash, which looks like it's got things growing on it. And the steering column cowl, which is decent. I don't know why it was taken off the car. Maybe didn't have the keys for steering lock or something, maybe. But not cracked, damaged. Still got all the screw holes and stuff intact, so that'll be getting kept. Right, so we've had a look inside the car to see how bad that is in there. Now we'll have a look at the boot area. Now, judging by the fact that that hinge actually isn't attached to the boot lid, that'll give you an idea of just the rust that we're going to see. So, gently opening the boot here in case it falls off. Yeah, the boot floor is too rusty. We've got a battery box cover and some hockey sticks for the grills, which they call rusty, but yeah, decent. As you can see, miraculously the battery box, that's inside the balance. It's a Hadrian panel. Not even many Hadrian panels nowadays. Ooh. That obviously kind of gives you an idea as to what condition the car was in when they decided to take it off the road, and we're going to do a rear valance and stuff on it. But boot floor, battery box surprisingly is fine, which is really unusual because they're normally the first thing to rot out. All around the closing panels of the subframe, gone. The back lip along the inside of in here, all gone, detached, completely detached. Underneath the tank's gone as well. I don't actually think the tank strap bracket is being held in place, is it? Maybe? It's moving a touch. You can just see it. But yeah, so boot floor needs done. That's on the to-do list. Now, the strange thing of this, when you look at how bad the boot floor actually is just how good, I'll show you in a second, just how good the condition of the panels that attach to it are, which is unusual because typically in, all the minis, they start to rot out from underneath the lights, and this section here. Now this is original to the car. That's original metal. There's never been any repairs in there, which, as you can see, is a rarity. I can only put that down, that lasting so well, to putting it down to the fact that the boot seal is attached to the boot lid on this on this age of car. So any moisture that's been around the boot seal has eaten the boot lid first instead of eating the panel. So all along underneath, well under here again, solid, completely solid. An unusual piece to see as well on this age of car is the fact that it even still has the original seam trim that goes over where the rear quarter panel meets the valance. The valance is not there. That's gone. But that trim is still there, which again just reiterates the fact that we think it's original. Rear quarters are all good. This one has suffered ever so slightly with a little bit of a pinhole in here, some pockets of rust, which will probably end up being the lower half of the section being repaired, or maybe some localised repairs in here to see if we can try and keep as much of the original panel as possible. Moving forward, door skins, rusty. Yeah, they're gone. I'm pretty sure that door frame at the bottoms has got, the door bottoms have gone as well. And as you can see, sills, non-existent. Original sills though, I don't think it's ever had a set of after sills or anything like that ever fitted. Over sills or anything, because there's no chunky rust, there's no bad bits under there that you can't necessarily, there's no dodgy repairs, put it that way. A-panel, shot at the bottom. The hinges and the hinge panel itself are solid, the door doesn't drop at all. Again, the original A-panel, still got the original seam and the little tiny spot tack that was put on the corners from factory. Yeah, I don't think they've ever been done. It's got the brackets in behind where the arch meets the A-panel as well, like the little L piece. Amazingly, the scuttle, solid. You know, it's never... the car itself is rusted in places where I wouldn't necessarily expect to not rust. Like, I say when it's rusted in bad places and it's rusted bad. But the bits that are good, I would have expected to have gone as well. Like scuttle, bottom of the rear quarters, you'd expect to see a lot more rust everywhere really. But there are some really good bits in this car which warrant us wanting to save it and keep it as original as possible. So that gives you a little bit of an assessment. The other door's just the same. Front panel, shot. It's going to need a full front end. Original front panel still. Original wings, bonnet, although somehow the lip for the bonnet has just disintegrated and fell off, which is nice. Wings will be done definitely. Front panel's done. Same again on this side. It's pretty much a repeat of the other side. A-panel's in the same kind of condition. It's kind of wholly through at the bottom, which is just crazy because it's still got the original, still got the original A-panel on it. And if you know Minis, you'll like this sound, like just the sound of the door closing. You know it's a solid car. The frames are good. There's no drop in the door at all. The bottom of that rear quarter's good. No holes in the bottom of that one. Hopefully when we pull the floor off, that should stay intact. There's no catalloy. That's all solid panel, metalwork. Forgot to film an outro for the city. So yeah, just a little recap. What we did was we ended up stripping out the interior and doing a walk around of the car, showing each individual panel, just basically just to kind of see the kind of overall condition of it. We had a quick look at the engine, but there's more to come on that. The next episode we're going to hopefully start taking some stuff off the car, and with an aim of trying to get it into a bare shell and ready for the rotisserie. So yeah, remember, like, comment, subscribe, and get yourself back out in the garage and get stuck in. Thanks guys.